So in this video, we're going to talk about the 2018 Tesla Model 3 long-range rear-wheel drive. As you can see from the photos, the wheel gap was pretty expansive. I also wanted to go through this process because I know that you can DIY yourself by lowering the car yourself. But here, I wanted to show how you could get it professionally done. BSP Motorsports in Frisco, Texas, and as you can see, the Model 3 is on the lift here. What we're going to do today, and when I called BSP Motorsports, they basically stated that they were going to do it right. And doing it right means putting on the lowering springs and putting on the tow arms for the Model 3. So as we go through this video, this is Brandon. He's the owner of BSP.
How's it going?
And out of all the places that I called in Dallas, Fort Worth region, these guys were the most knowledgeable on exactly what they do for the Tesla community here in North Texas.
Also the battery heights. So essentially what we have stock and what we can, once we have some changes with after lowering springs, we can do some differences of how low you're actually really going with it, but also staying safe with the batteries and the heights of the batteries and things like that.
Sweet. Holy crap, look at all that room. Just to remind you guys, this is a rear-wheel drive long range that I've had for over a year and 3 months. 41,000 miles on it. And just to show you guys, there's hardly any signs of wear underneath here. And so much room. That's one of the mechanics just said so much room. It's pretty insane of it. Model 3s to be done?
We've done about 2 of them so far. The one that Brandon Campbell's, we actually put lowering or went with the adjustable control arms, the tow arms, as well as coilovers that he got from Mountain Pass.
Sweet. Have you seen the people doing DIY videos?
Without getting into programming. Everything back in its happy home.
So you can see Brandon was doing the install on the rear springs here while he had a separate mechanic working in the other room taking care of the front struts.
Yeah, because you don't want, very important to get everything aligned exactly back up where it was, because if not, you start getting noises. Look at the difference between the progressive spring and your stock spring. Where the progression comes from is the different, see how that's same space, where these have, you know, same spacing, but then you got tighter spacing here. So that's where the progressive is going to come from. So essentially this will be tighter to push in, where these will be softer.
Sweet.
Easier to on the coilover.
Sweet.
So yeah, but they're marked, and you always want them to be facing like in the car. You want them to everything to be facing correctly.
Locking teeth that will bite directly onto each coil.
Now, can I go to AutoZone and rent this, Brandon?
No, you cannot.
Absolutely not.
So this is why you have to get it professionally done, because like I was saying to Brandon earlier, it's like you watch all these YouTube videos about people DIYing this, and it's so dangerous. So paying to actually have it done correctly is
Priceless.
a professional do this. You know, I was seeing how they had like a little Allen head on the top there, so that it doesn't spin.
That is so the piston rod doesn't spin within the canister, which could affect the valving within the shock. Alright, we're locked down.
You ever had one of these go off?
Not in this tool. I have heard of other mechanics using lesser quality tools where the spring will slip out and punch a hole in a wall. I mean, like I said, when this thing's fully compressed, we're dealing with probably about 1,000 pounds of force.
BSP Motorsports in Frisco, Texas, and this is called the what?
The strut tamer.
Put Ryan in the spotlight.
It looks so easy when those DIY YouTubers do this.
Oh yeah, looks are definitely deceiving. First, if we can even just get this on without the tool.
No, it's gonna fight you.
Some of them, some vehicles were able to just put the lowering springs on, pop the hat on, and we're good to go. On the left, we have a fully assembled strut showing how compressed the spring actually is at full extension of the shock. This is the stock spring, and this is the lowering spring that we're going to.
And this is progressive spring.
This is the
stock.
progressive. These are both stock.
Sweet. Here, and I see a Datsun, and I don't think that there's a regular engine in this Datsun, correct? So as I turn the corner here, boom. Is that an LS1, LS2?
That is an LS1 5.7 V8.
In a Datsun 280, correct? After all the shops that I talked to, the thing about it is that anybody can put in lowering springs, but what did you guys say that I needed to do?
Yeah, so the thing with lowering springs is that it does lower the suspension of the car, which you are going to change how the toe is, and then the adjustment that the factory gives you is not enough. So it's one thing to put springs on a car, it's another thing to make a complete package to be able to, you know, get your car lowered the way you want it, but also achieve a factory alignment spec to where the car feels good and doesn't wear tires and all that thing. And that's kind of where we're a little bit different than other people, is we like to kind of make sure that you get a complete package where everything is the way you want it.
Yeah, and it's amazing because everybody thinks, well, I just want to spend the least amount of money as possible. And I don't care.
Well, in the long run, you know, if you're tearing up tires due to the alignment specs being out, then you're going to end up costing yourself more money. Really.
There's a reason that I chose BSP Motorsports in Frisco is the fact that you can have this toe, the one from Tesla, but this is what you have to have.
Yeah, and this is pretty much, you have to have this because due to when you lower the car, you're going to get a significant amount of either toe out or toe in. I'm not 100% on how it's going to react to the lowering springs, but you need to have that adjustment to where we have a centric here. So essentially, this is our adjustment. You have a channel that this will ride in. So we'll either push the arm in or push the arm out, depending on, you know, what we need it to do. So now we'll be able to, we'll still have all this in there. Everything will look factory, but now we'll have the opportunity to be able to spin the centerpiece, which would either give you a longer arm or a shorter arm. So right now what we're gonna do is we're gonna match up exactly center line to center line with the stock arm, put that on the car. That way we'll get, you know, fairly close to where we need to be.
So remember, this is not a DIY video of how to, it's the how to do it right.
And then
what you guys do.
I'm utilizing my pass-through socket so I can hold the center of the strut rod, keep everything from turning. Make sure all the marks are lined up and we're straight. Torque up.
Compared to your normal left-hand thread. So essentially what happens here is that when you spin this, it lengthens this one and this one. And then obviously going back in, it'll shorten it.
So this is where the tow arm is installed. Brandon just put it in here. Again, I can't stress to you enough, if you're gonna get something like this done, get it done professionally.
Puts the responsibility on us, the guys that know what we're doing. Car back, roll it forward. That's essentially the alignment machine taking pictures of the angles. Ryan was just doing a caster sweep, which is turning the wheel from to the right to the left. It's actually taking pictures as well in order to get your caster reading. So right now we're about to figure out kind of how much your alignment changed just by doing the loads. Because really, all of your camber specifications are all in alignment, so everything's good there. Now, if you're trying to track the car, you want some more aggressive camber. That's when we recommend actually doing the camber arms in the rear and doing some stuff in the front to change that up. So essentially, what we have is we have adjustment on our toe, and we've got adjustment on our rear toe, and that's
a nice shot with that BSP.
We're doing a rolling compensation right now.
When it was finished, the drop was incredible. It's 1.2 inches and it drove just like stock and even better. All right, finishing up work here at BSP Motorsports in Frisco, Texas. Again, I live over 160 miles away from here, and I wanted to do it myself, DIY. But the thing about it is I found out more during this process that you actually have to have it professionally done. Here's Brandon, the owner of BSP Motorsports.
Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. As Brian was saying, there's tons of things that you can do on your own, but there is definitely equipment and knowledge that you really need to get this stuff done right. So, if you have any, anywhere from suspension upgrades to lowering to just a basic alignment, we're also taking on a lot of the preventative maintenance, the filters, things like that. So, if you have any questions or, want to talk to us, just give us a call.